Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Wrestling Challenge YouTube review series. We are endeavoring to get through as many as we can, as often as we can. This particular episode, the 6th of uh, June, 1987. I wish they had all 450, 500 of these up. Obviously, they don't have everything up everywhere. That would be wonderful if they did. Challenge was, of course, for those that are new. I mean, it's ironic to me that there are people who aren't familiar, but I also do realize that the show ended uh, nearly 25 years ago. So there's a whole group of people who are fans who've never even maybe heard of Wrestling Challenge or dealt with Wrestling Challenge as a whole. The show ran from 1986 to 1995, so it should be about just under 450 episodes, I think. Unfortunately, not many of them available online. Anyway, Honky Tonk Man Jerry Allen starts us off. Honky Tonk Man, relatively new, associated with Jimmy Hart here. Remember, in WrestleMania 3, he was wrestling Jake the Snake Roberts, and so there was a Ban the DDT campaign. That campaign that was started by Jimmy Hart was not fruitful for, the Honky Tonk Man and Hart. Honky Tonk Man chokes out his adversary over the top rope with kind of a neck of ice. Honky Tonk Man, punch, kick, real basic stuff. Allen, who is a relatively regular enhancement talent at the time, actually wrestles Rick Rude in his first televised match, I do believe. Punch kick by the Honky Tonk Man, then the shake, rattle, roll after a distraction from Jimmy Hart, and the Honky Tonk Man promises to rectify the lack of action by Jack Tunney to handle the um, overall running of things as it relates to the elimination of the DDT, and so there's some challenges there, obviously, as one can expect. Anyway, we go to the Hart Foundation. Hart Foundation interview and rebuttal. Basically, it's been said that they're hiding behind the championships. They claim not to hide. They claim to be willing to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. And this is not believed by most fans. Actually, this particular episode I'm watching is from the UK, so a little bit lesser deal. Then there is a match from Superstars, which I'm going to skip because I'm reasonably sure that the Superstars match is already covered on this channel. But basically, it is the turn of the um, Islanders, Tama and Haku, to team with or be managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. That's a given angle. Of course, they end up going after the Bulldogs for a while. The British Bulldog feud runs late 87 through 88. And then things go there. The Strike Force? I believe it was actually Strike Force match. Then we go to a Ken Patera promo, which is kind of odd looking at it in retrospect. He's rather monotone, actually, talking about the negative words of Bobby Heenan and the impact Heenan has had on his family by besmirching him and all of that. That's a pretty intense thing. Heenan, though, doesn't rile Patera up. Of course, Patera had been in jail for about 2.5 years. In I think it was 84 through about 87 for throwing a brick through a McDonald's window. Not something to ask him about, by the way. He's not very friendly about talking about that. Hercules in an enhancement match here. Hercules' opponent is Jerry Monty. Juries seem to be popular. Allen and Monty are here. Hercules managed by Bobby Heenan. Big clothesline by Herc. Hercules at this point still coming off the feud with Billy Jack Haynes. I think Billy Jack leaves soon thereafter. Punch kick, huge lariat style clothesline and a full Nelson, and Hercules, chain and all, unable to be stopped, really. Then we go to an interview segment with the Young Stallions. Young Stallions basically challenging the Hearts and any other team. Paul Roma, who is a babyface but doesn't come across as one, basically says they're the best team in the area. They're up and comers. It's a very awkward contest here. And then Jimmy Powers basically says that he agrees with Roma. They are the best, and there's very little reason to worry about them. They go back to a Saturday night's main event clip. The Saturday night's main event clip in question, George the Animal Steel goes into a feud now with Danny Davis for mainly sea-level house shows, pretty much. And that is because Davis, during a lumberjack match, during the ending of the feud with the Macho Man, I think this is the last major TV match he has with George Steele, a lumberjack match, but there is interference by Mr. Davis, and that ultimately leads to challenge. But anyway, we go to a enhancement match. This time it is Davis. It is Steele against an enhancement talent, Rudy Ryder. Not a name that I know much of. Maybe he's been around before, but I don't know a great deal about Mr. Ryder. George the Animal Steel, babyface here, no longer with Lou Albano, as Albano retired late in '86. Albano leaving Steele on his own. Steele punch, kick, chop, bites turnbuckle, green tongue, throws the stuffings from the turnbuckle in the face of his opponent, then locks the flying hammerlock. That move, there's a guy that actually gets his shoulder popped out of the socket, something he can do on a regular basis, but it's intense to see. Meanwhile, there's an inset promo from Danny Davis here. Then we go to a one-man gang promo. Gang has not converted to Akeem yet. That doesn't happen for about another year or so, maybe a little less than a year. But that's that. Then we go to Greg Valentine, Dino Bravo, the new Dream Team against the Young Stallions. This isn't Sweeps Week, so surprised they're giving this much of a major match here. Anyway, Valentine and Bravo remain a team short term. Bravo eventually does go out from underneath the tutelage of Johnny Valiant. Johnny V is done right around this time, maybe around October, so maybe a few more months, but not terribly much longer. Roma with some hip tosses and a drop kick on Bravo. Bravo bails to the outside. Bravo certainly not the draw that he was in Montreal. Of course, the Rougeau brothers, who are still baby faces, they don't turn until sometime in '88, but they are denouncing the actions of Bravo. Bravo with a short, I guess you'd say, drop with the inverted atomic drop. Valentine with a diving forearm. Valentine, a guy who doesn't really do well in these enhancement style matches because he takes a while to warm up, so to speak. Anyway, Bravo manages to get an arm bar and go right to town on his opponent pretty aggressively, actually. And then there's a tag with the new Dream Team. Some body slams, elbow drops by Bravo, and Bravo manages to get things going back the way for his team. Not exactly the way that he wants them to go, but that is it anyhow. So Bravo, or actually the baby faces, Powers and Roma take over for a little bit. Some elbow drops, some basic stuff. Powers and Roma, at least through '87, including through the Survivor Series of same year, the first Survivor Series, are seen as a major get and kind of a babyface tag team that they were going to push pretty heavily. They were later replaced in '88 mainly by the Rockers. That seems to be the way things turn out. Anyway, Dream Team does eventually get a victory here. And then we move on to Craig DeGeorge kind of doing an interview segment with superstar Billy Graham. Billy Graham having a hip replacement, walking in the areas of Arizona. Graham falls down during this process. He's about to have a hip replacement, legit. Billy Graham, not a healthy guy for a whole bunch of years. Steroids do not pay off for us boys and girls. But he actually falls down and starts to crawl his way back to getting there on his walker and all of that. Then we see the final match of the day. Bill Anderson against Macho Man Randy Savage. Savage losing the Intercontinental Champion a couple of months rather prior at WrestleMania 3, probably the most known among the internet community. The Steamboat and Savage match If you are a fan, young enough not to have seen it, worth going out of your way to see. Frame of reference of the first real work rate match in the WWF, one could imagine. At least they got major publicity. Savage with some clotheslines, then sends the adversary to the outside. Flying axe handle off the top rope. Looking back at that, no wonder Savage had knee problems later in life. He'd been doing that flying axe handle to the outside for several years. By his retirement in 2000, snaps the man back and ultimately gets as much of a, I guess you'd say, aggression point as possible. Big body slam by Savage in the middle, almost a modified power slam, goes to the top rope elbow drop, 1, 2, 3. Macho Man Randy Savage successful. Then we see a final promo, Mr. Fuji endorsing his various teams, Morocco and Orton, as well as Kamala and Sika. Of course, Sika, the father of modern day SmackDown champion Roman Reigns. Here he is a basic portrayed as a Samoan Savage. Also Kemshi, I think at this point portrayed by the Brooklyn Brawler perhaps, out with Kamala, and Fuji basically says that they are hungry, ready for competition and all that stuff. Fuji's never a manager I really got, but at the same time, he'd been around for a while. In any event, that will close us out for today. We'll have more of these today and the SmackDown review later. Nearly 1,100 audios and a variety of topics for you to check out. Please subscribe, like, comment below, all that good stuff. Till next time, everybody.